Hello, what's happening? Today we are going to unbox. We've got a Fiamma for, how do you say it?
Fiamma? I don't know.
Fiamma. We've got a fan with or a roof vent with a fan in it. So we're going to open the box up and then we're going to get that fitted. But there's a few changes since the last time. We've got a seat in and we've got some insulation started. Which I'm going to put another video up of us doing that. But we wanted to get this fan into the roof before we insulate the roof so we can do it around the fan. Let's go ahead and open the box up. Let's see what's inside. Another box. It's just the receipt. So we've got the turbo vent 28. We have went for the crystal, and hopefully that'll allow some light to come through, like a little skylight, as well as letting the fan work as like taking the air in and out. So in the box there's nothing. We have some screws in here. You got some screws. You got a manual, and then the parts of the fan. And that's like a little insect mesh or whatever, mosquito mesh. Get that back on. And there's the whole fan. Okay, we've just read through the instructions and tried to make some sense of it. It says here that the roof vent can be installed with depths between 25 to 50 mil. Our roof currently is just the skin of the van. The skin of the van is about 0.75 mil, so just under 1 mil. I think. Something like that. So obviously it's not 25 mil. So we're going to build a little wooden frame to go round the inside here. The way that this is connected together, you seal it on the roof side, but there's no external fixings from the top of the fan into the top of your roof. So the way it's fixed is through these holes around the edge. So the reason for us doing the frame is so that we can fix this to a frame on the inside of the van, and then the fan will be fixed to the roof. But we want to keep it to the absolute minimum because we've got a small van. But we have these struts already in the van, which come down to 30 mil, and we are going to build a skeleton of wooden battens to fix all of our cladding to. So we're going to have to come down at least another 10 millimeter on these metal struts to allow us to get our wooden battens in to fix the cladding. So the conclusion of that is that we're going to have roughly about 40 millimeters of frame depth on the roof to take the fan, and then that will allow us to do the rest of our work and get our insulation in the roof and get our cladding on. So let's go and build a wooden frame now. This is a lot of footage for
Yeah, you're gonna have to condense it.
yeah. be able to make one of those wee things that goes
Yeah.
zoom, 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 yeah.
Yeah, you will.
I'm good. We've got our frame now that we will put in the roof. We're actually going to put it at the front of the van, somewhere around here, but we need to measure it now, so that's what we're going to do now. Before we do, I'll just show you some of the tools that we are going to use. So we've got a drill with a 12mm attachment, a 12mm drill bit to put a hole to allow the jigsaw blade to go in. And we've got jigsaw with a metal blade. Then once we cut the hole, if there's any jagged edges, we can file and use a bit of primer around the edge to seal the metal again, to stop it from rusting. Then we've got some sealant and adhesive, which this stuff will bond and seal around the fan. So that means it'll glue and seal, which is good. Then we've got a bit of mastic. I can't remember what you call this stuff. It's just like strips of mastic that you can layer on, and then that just works the same way as like a sealant. So, and we've got a few clamps and stuff. So that's all the tools that we have. So now we're just going to make a template, put it on the inside of the van, and then transfer that template out. We're going to measure all that to make sure it's in the right place. Then we're going to drill the four corners of the square, and then go through that with the jigsaw from the top, cutting the hole out, and then we'll go from there. We've just drilled the holes and cut the roof out now, and we've got a really rough edge where we just cut, so I'm going to file it all down with the file, and then we're going to put some primer or metal paint on the edge to make sure it doesn't rust. I think it's important to do a dry fit before you start putting any sealant or glue or screws into it. So that's what we're going to do now. We've got the fan in place, and now we're going to put the wooden frame underneath and test everything out just to make sure before we start gluing and screwing. Oh, it looks so cool.
It looks class.
And where's the other part of it? Wait, no, that's the wrong way around.
Oh.
Here. Hold it and you can video. So, that's it. Everything's going to fit perfectly, it looks like. And then we've still got room here. Well, our batten will go on here, and then that means our inside cladding will just run nicely, and then we'll just have to unscrew this part to get the cladding underneath and then refix it again when we get to that stage. But it all looks good. So let's fix it into place. We are just sanding down around the edge now to make sure the sealant and the bonder will have a good grip onto the surface. Alright, I have just primed the edge and I'm going to let it dry for about 5 minutes or so, maybe a wee bit more, and then we can get the sealant on. And what are you doing, Claire?
I am putting mastic
Yes.
on to make these things level. Here. That was way too short.
It's fine.
Okay.
So basically, where the rib is here, you can see we want to bring it out to the same level, so then we can put our wooden frame on the inside, and it has contact to something solid the whole time. So we're putting the mastic on here to do that, and then we're gonna glue the frame on and clamp it for until the glue cures, and then we're gonna slot the vent in from the top, and then obviously you need to screw back in from the bottom. So that's what we're doing now. We're now going to glue around the edge here, and then fit the frame, and then clamp it from the clamp it using some grip clamps from the top. Oh.
Ah! Nathan, help!
Hit the trigger to stop it, and then wipe that off. Right.
Oh my goodness, it just came out.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's so weird having a hole in the roof.
Do I need to go around the corner?
Yeah, you need to go over the top of that mastic because it's not really glue. It's just pretty much silicone.
Oh dear.
Yeah, we can fix that at the end. I nearly forgot to put the mastic and sealer on the top because I was getting a bit too excited. So before you start fitting the fan, obviously you put your mastic on here and some sealer. So it's the same reason again, you put the mastic on here because there's 2 different levels, and if we don't put it on, it's going to be rocking. So we're putting it on here to bring it up to the same level as this rib, and that will just make sure we get a better more security and a better seal. Okay, so now we are ready for the to actually fit it. I'm just going to put a little bit of mastic along this edge, or sealant on there. And here. Same on this side. Okay, you ready? Okay, so make sure the hinges are in the right place. There's no plastic in the way. And we are good to go. So this is it, finally in. The hinges are at the front. And we've got a really good seal under that. Now we can fix it from the bottom, so that's what we'll do. And then we'll come back up to the top and seal around the outside edges. So that's doing that way. Now we have a roof vent. It's all fixed in place and it's fully solid. So one last thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to go around the edge here and just put a last final seal on it, just to ensure that it's fully watertight. but it's looking pretty good. And then we can get the take the plastic off it. We'll do that now. Are you happy with it?
Yes. Very happy.
Yeah, that's a good. That's a wee bit more light in, and yeah, it just looks. Another addition to our van. Looks pretty good. That is us finished now. We've got an extra seal around the edge, so that's completely watertight. We've got the insect mesh on down below. Everything's screwed into the frame, so it's really solid. It's not going to move at all.
Woo. And there we have it.
So that is our vent installed and good to go. Now all we have to do to it is wire it up once we get our battery and put it inside. So that is it for now. I will show the installation after in another video, but yeah, that's it for now. Peace out, keep it true and keep it real.